Thanks for staying with us. Now, will the introduction of a 10-cent sugar tax on cans of soft drink help in the fight against flab or add to our growing grocery bills? The Irish Beverage Council is warning that a sugar tax won't have any health benefits, but instead will increase the average grocery bill by €60 annually. Joining me now to discuss this are Kevin McPartland, Director of the Irish Beverage Council, and National Consultant Nutritionist Gaye Godkin. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
Kevin, you would say this, wouldn't you? I suppose is what you have to say about the Irish Beverage Council, that that it's going to be of no benefit whatsoever to increase the price of your product, because it's going to lead to reduction in sales for you guys.
Well, the fact that we would say it anyway doesn't mean it's not true. There's irrefutable evidence. It's been tried in a number of countries around the world, and it has never, ever, ever met its public health objectives of reducing obesity. It just doesn't work. All it's going to do is cost consumers money, cost Irish business money, and ultimately cost the Irish Exchequer money.
Okay, therefore, is a tax an answer to this? Is the tax not just a blunt instrument? Is there not more subtle and refined ways that you can achieve, that the objectives that we're talking about of reducing obesity can be achieved?
I don't think that we have any subtle or refined ways that we can go about this. It is a multifactorial problem. So by introducing a sugar tax, it is going to raise a debate, as we're sitting here this morning. It's going to raise awareness of the issue. But the fact of the matter is, this is a public health issue. Mm-hmm. And it is, personally, I don't feel the Beverage Council are in the business of writing public health policy. So I think what we need to do is stand back and look at what we're measuring here, as you're using the word obesity. This has far, far bigger issues in a country like Ireland. So, for example, we have now a tsunami of type 2 diabetes. And in the next number of years, we're going to have over 850,000 people who will have this illness, which is caused by, in the main, excess glucose in the diet. Mm-hmm. So if you were to look at a can of any of these drinks, or if you look at a 500ml bottle, I looked at a 500ml bottle the other day of Rock Shandy, and there's 16.5 teaspoons of sugar in that. 16.5. Now, the World Health Organization says we should not consume more than 6 teaspoons of sugar per day. So 16.5.
Nearly 3 times the average daily intake.
And do you know what made me laugh was in the bottle, it said there's 33 or 37 grams of sugar per 250 mils.
Yeah, it's a 500ml bottle.
As opposed to 500 mils. So I think anything that opens up the debate, anything that brings awareness to the consumers, these drinks are detrimental to our health.
Detrimental to our health. You will say that you've reduced the amount of sugar that's gone in over the previous years, and you've reduced the amount of calories by billions, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, a sugary drink is never going to be good for you. It's never going to be a healthy part of your diet.
Well, look, you know, one's diet is made up of all sorts of different elements. One particular type of product, one particular type of nutrient is not. But
if you're going to take 3 times your average daily intake of sugar in one drink, I mean, what do you do? Space it out over 3 days?
Well, it's not a single serving, but those packs are not designed for single
500
serving.
millilitre, of course it is.
No, it's not. No, the recommended single serving is 250 millilitres. Those packs are designed for sharing. That's what they're for.
Well, why don't you produce them in 250 millilitres?
Well, we do produce them in 250 millilitres. You'll find now that more and more cans are now in the 250 millilitre size. So we are doing that. If we're genuine about, rather than just talking about things that create debate, if we're genuine about tackling obesity, tackling overweight, and talking about diabetes, let's talk about things that work. So the McKinsey Global have done this massive international survey looking at what are the most important interventions, what actually works. Number 1 is product size, which is why we're moving product sizes down.
But even at 330, it's still more than your daily intake. Anyway,
but as I say, we're moving 330 down to 250. More and more cans are coming in at 250 and smaller. And then the second most important intervention was reformulation, so changing recipes and bringing in new products. So in Ireland now, more than 50% of all soft drinks sold are low and no calorie, low and no sugar. That is something that the industry has done. They have driven that forward. They introduced these products, and then they spent a ton of money in marketing them and encouraging people to try them.
Can I bring it back in this? The low and no sugar drinks, from a physiological perspective, how much better are they than the sugar drinks?
I have to be honest with you, there's no place for them in. There's no nutrients. Can you tell me what nutrient is in any of those drinks that's going to confer
But if
health benefits.
but if they're neutral, if they're not doing any harm, are they not okay?
Well, we to be quite honest with you, we don't have enough evidence yet. We don't fully understand what these diet drinks and zero drinks are doing. They're made up of chemicals. There's nothing in there that's coming out of the ground. There's nothing in there that's coming out of the plant.
This is scaremongering, Gaye.
No,
You can't say we
Kevin,
don't have evidence, so therefore we must assume the worst.
No, Kevin. Let's be honest here. The debate is out about all of these sweeteners, aspartame, everything
the
that's
debate
in
isn't
them.
out. The World
It
Health
is
Organization have
out.
passed them. The Food and Drink Administration in the US
Small
have passed
children
them.
are
EU,
drinking these
the
drinks.
European Food Safety Authority have passed them all. So the debate isn't out. The debate has been had and it's been proven.
Listen,
There's
this
no
is far
safety
bigger
concerns
than
about them.
smoking, right? And you have a very difficult job, and we're both sitting here together, and and you have a very difficult job to try and convince people that there's a place in the diet for these drinks. There is no place in the diet in a country where 8 out of 10 people who attend their GP do so due to a diet or lifestyle-related
And
condition.
of those 8 out of 10 people who come with a diet or a nutrition condition, 60% of them don't consume soft drinks regularly.
But isn't there a place in people's diet, Gaye, for this? This is what you call a treat, right? So once every so often, once a week, you might allow yourself have a can of or some fizzy drink. Is that not as part of an overall diet not a bad thing?
Well, you see, to get there, that's utopia, right? So that's not how people behave. So 65% of people consume sugary drinks in Ireland, okay? And the real worry there
But how
is-
regularly?
Well, regularly enough.
Well, I can give you the figures. 40% consume once a week or more. 60% of people don't consume sugary drinks more than once a week.
But once a week or more is where you get worried.
exactly.
If it was once a week, you'd say fair enough. Once a week or more is
the
the...
other
Well, the
thing
obesity
about-
rates are identical between those two groups.
Can I ask you a question, Gaye, just around the introduction of this tax? Is the idea, or what benefit do you see of introducing the tax? Is it going to lower the consumption, or is it the fact that you're going to ring fence this money and use it for something else? What's the approach?
To be honest with you, I'm not the Minister for Health or the Minister for Finance who's going to decide on that. But what we do need to do, this is not. Kevin is right in one point. By introducing this tax, everybody's not going to get slim overnight, okay? So we need to have a long-term plan. We also need to have a big educational workup around here. My concern here is, in Ireland, we're the only country in Europe that has a growing population. So we've an enormous amount of small children. You hook them into these drinks at a young age and they're lifers. So we do have to start by educating parents, educating people on what's in them. We need absolute transparency. What is in these drinks? High fructose corn syrup. It is absolutely detrimental to our health. So if we're going to introduce the tax, there's no point in just introducing a tax and walking away from it saying, we've done something about this. We need to have a big conversation. We need to look at countries where it hasn't worked as well and say, well, what have they done wrong? There's a learning here for us, and it has to be a 5-year plan in conjunction with lots of other things. But we need to stand back from the weight issue, because we're saying that sugar tax doesn't do anything for obesity. Okay, let's park that. Let's say, okay, let's try and move out of the diet as much of these refined processed sugars, high fructose corn syrup, because general health, women's bone health, diabetes, it's not just simply sugar tax is going to deal with obesity, because that's not the case.
Okay. Gaye, thank you very much. Kevin, you too. Thanks very much for coming in. This is a debate I'm sure that will continue.